mungkin gimmick nanti di akhir acara seperti gift ataupun door prize. Ya, sekali lagi terima kasih dan enjoy. Saya kembalikan ke Kiki. Thank you.
Oke, thank you Mas
Cara
Nafi.
bisnis
Mas
prosesnya
Nafi tadi informasinya
Nah, saya pikir
menarik
itu
ya.
cukup dari
Tapi
saya,
kalau
nggak usah
boleh
berlama-lama.
tahu nih Mas Nafi, mungkin banyak juga yang belum tahu atau belum kenal Mas Nafi nih. Tadi diinformasikan lebih ke acara ini nih, tapi mungkin boleh diinfokan sedikit profil Mas Nafi nih, di Carriage ngapain sih tugasnya gitu Mas? Atau ya mungkin hobi Mas Nafi mungkin yang bisa di-share ke teman-teman atau apa sih gitu. Ya, teman-teman hanya mungkin biasanya cuma lihat di company profile-nya Carriage gitu ya, di meeting gitu. Nah, sedikit deh Mas diinformasiin.
Jadi ya saya sendiri sekarang bergerak di PT Carriage System sebagai director. Saya mengatur seluruh operasional sebenarnya di PT Carriage System, mostly terkait Zoom, karena memang kita sangat fokus di collaboration dan Zoom memang jadi salah satu main produk kita saat ini gitu ya. Dan kalau mungkin hobi teman-teman yang suka naik sepeda atau mungkin gravel ya, sekarang eranya lagi graveling bukan road bike lagi, boleh nanti kapan-kapan kita bisa ketemu atau gowes bareng. Tapi pada dasarnya saya dulunya, karena saya sebagai engineer dulunya sampai di posisi saya saat ini, saya sangat senang sekali berdiskusi dengan semua teman-teman. Jadi feel free to kontak saya kapan saja, profil saya mudah ditemukan di LinkedIn, dan di mungkin banyak beberapa berita yang memang saya terkait Zoom gitu ya untuk event-event seperti ini. Jadi feel free to kontak saya senang sekali berdiskusi apapun itu halnya, apalagi secara teknis. Nah, kurang lebih begitu, Kiki.
Oke, thank you Mas Nafi informasinya. Nah, mungkin buat bapak-bapak dan ibu-ibu, tadi sedikit profil Mas Nafi. Kalau mau tahu lebih lanjut, bisa kontak via tadi di LinkedIn ada, atau di email, atau bisa direct Capri beliau ya. Thank you Mas Nafi, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and second time, I will be introduce our partner from Zoom Regional Asia. Please welcome Pak Cornelius. Hello, Pak. How are you there?
Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Yep. So I'll be sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
I can't. Give me a minute. Can I see the presentation screen? I can't see the presentation screen. Give me a minute. Yep. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
So
Pak Cornelius, maybe can you tell a little bit about your profile? Yeah, and give us opening speech for this webinar.
Yep, sure. Yep. So thanks everyone for joining us in this our webinar, right? Together with our valued partner in Indonesia, Carriage. I'm Cornelius. I'm based in Singapore. I'm the channel manager for Carriage and for Zoom, like for Indonesia. So I work very closely with the team in Carriage, like to deliver happiness to all our customers in Indonesia. So we're looking forward to, if travel allows, looking forward to, in the near future to meet with all of you, like as we as borders continue to open. I just read today's news that there's only like starting from 1st of March, like it's 3 days quarantine, and hopefully like by April, like there'll no longer be quarantine, and we can definitely then meet face to face in either any city in Indonesia. Like so to kick off today's webinar, like I would like to share a little bit about Zoom. Like so I think all of you like have most likely heard of Zoom or has used Zoom meeting in one form or the other. Like I'd like to share more about Zoom, like how you can build your business forward with Zoom. Like So Zoom, like I think, have evolved right from a video-first communication platform to becoming an end-to-end unified communication platform. Like our video-first cloud-native approach to building our platform allows us to provide customers with performance, scalability, and reliability essential for productive hybrid work, which is the new norm moving forward. Consolidating all your communications with Zoom like helps to streamline workflow and make collaboration seamless for your businesses of all types and sizes. Like Zoom Unified Communication Platform like delivers Zoom meetings, our award-winning product, Zoom Phone as well, which both Eddie and the KReach team will be covering later on in the webinar, and Zoom chat within a single app to ensure you can optimize all your critical business communication. Our Zoom Marketplace increases productivity with more than 1,000 apps and bots integrated with Zoom for enhanced ease of use and productivity. And our Zoom apps interface will allow your end users to access their productivity apps without leaving Zoom. Like we partner with best-in-class hardware providers as well to allow you to transform your spaces at the office and home into collaboration spaces. And Zoom Conference Room Connector, CRC, lets you join Zoom meetings directly from existing SIP or H323 conference room system, such as Polycom, Cisco, and Life-size equipment, allowing you to make most of your current hardware investment. Like there's no need to rip and replace your current hardware investment with new ones. Like also infrastructure will support your business needs as they evolve, and a cloud-based communication platform can grow and adjust to your needs quickly as they change. Right? All these are built upon a foundation for secure communications you can count on. Features like end-to-end encryption, secure meeting controls, and a globally distributed cloud infrastructure help businesses trust in the security and reliability of our solutions. Like to end, like I'd just like to kind of conclude that Zoom, like one of the most popular app, like during the pandemic, like and it is still now, like will deliver the most complete and comprehensive, like video first communications platform built entirely from the ground up in the cloud to natively work together to help not only provide the greatest experience for your users and administrator, but also do it with the lowest cost of ownership. That's the power of one unified communication platform for all your business needs. Like come and talk to us, talk to our partner, KReach, on any of your business requirements or on any of your business communication needs. Like with that, I conclude my quick introduction, and I'll hand the time over back to Bu Kiki, like to introduce the next speaker for the day.
Yeah. Oke, thank you Pak Cornelius for your opening speech. Jadi teman-teman, Pak Cornelius ini beliau yang membantu kita partner Zoom untuk mengembangkan bisnis Zoom bersama-sama lah ya, khususnya di Indonesia gitu. Jadi seperti yang tadi sedikit diinformasikan juga, kita KReach itu, saya mungkin bisa sedikit cerita ya soal KReach gitu. Jadi kita sudah membawa KReach jauh mungkin sebelum pandemi, dan cara bisnis sendiri Zoom berawal dari meeting solution gitu ya, software integrasi dengan beberapa hardware produk gitu, dan sekarang sudah akan terus mengembangkan khususnya di ekosistem UC, Unified Communication gitu ya. Dan di sini kita akan menyampaikan atau mempresentasikan lebih lanjut untuk solusi baru yaitu Zoom Phone gitu. Nah, next-nya akan ada presentasi, oke. And we are at the point of this webinar. Pak Edi will be present. Halo Pak Edi.
Halo Bu Kiki, selamat siang.
Siang Pak. I hope you in a good health right now.
Yep.
Ya, jadi Pak Edi itu bisa bahasa Indonesia, tapi mungkin hanya sedikit ya Pak.
Ya, soalnya sudah lama nggak ke Indo kan, gara-gara pandemik, jadi bahasanya agak kalau bahasa Melayu itu bilang karat lah.
Okay, Pak Edi, maybe before you start the presentation, please tell a little bit about your profile, maybe your job desk in Zoom.
Sure.
Okay, please.
Sure. So pertama kali, thank you Kerish kerana mengundang Cornelius sama saya di webinar ini. And I have to apologize first. I may use a lot of English in the presentation, but as much as I can, I try to use Bahasa, but most of the content mostly in English. So I am a channel solution engineer. I am based in Singapore, just like Cornelius. And I've been in the collaboration business for quite a long time, 25 years at least. And right now I'm covering Southeast Asia as well as North Asia. So when I first started Zoom, Zoom was still in meetings and rooms environment, but quickly in like a month time, we officially launched our Zoom Phone. And as what Cornelius has mentioned earlier, Zoom is now no longer a meeting platform, not just meeting platform, but we are actually a full unified communication platform. Okay, so with that introduction, I will start my presentation. Let me share the screen first. Okay, you should be able to see the full slide. Just double confirm. Bisa lihat ya, Bu Kiki?
Yep.
Okay.
Ya, sudah.
Okay, there's quite a lot to cover, but I try to do as slowly as possible, and to make sure everyone here, you get the highlights, the key features of our full unified communication platform.
Pak Edi, sorry.
You need to swap your presentation.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You can see my presenter view.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. That's PowerPoint. You need to always swap the display. Okay, so I'm going to cover the Zoom Phone overview, the key features, the hardware, a bit of hardware, the connectivity option, which is the most important portion, and then the integration, and we'll cover a bit of the service and plans. And after that, Paulus will do some of the demonstration from what I present. Okay, jadi first of all, Zoom, when we first built the platform, it was focused on the video meetings, and the focus is on the frictionless video first unified communication platform. If you look at, as you understand, if you look at other UC platform, they are basically either a stack-on solution or a quiet solution. But in Zoom, what we do is we actually build from the ground up, and the most difficult component in any unified communication platform is actually the video, because obviously video takes a lot of bandwidth, and it's actually more complex to address. And that's where Zoom started. We started with the video meeting first, and from there it's quite easily to stack on other solution like Rooms. Then obviously we have SDKs. We also open for developers, and then we have phone that's been already launched for at least in less than 2 years. And of course, in future, there's more roadmaps coming up in terms of telephony. Now, the main key pillars for Zoom is about security, it's about simplicity, it must be scalable, and it has to be innovative, and it has to be extendable. Now, if you look at these 5 key pillars, security, obviously, some of you may remember back in 2020, the client version of the 4.0 onwards have a little bit of a gap there. It was identified, our CEO acknowledged, and Zoom come about to the 90-day freeze to freeze on the features to focus mainly on security. As a result, we have definitely developed and improve and plug any security labs, especially around the third-party SDK that causes that security gap, data privacy, and acquisition of a key base that provide us the end-to-end, the real end-to-end encryption, which is based on cryptography technology. And of course, we are now using by default a standard ES256 encryption, GCM. This is actually the same as Microsoft and the big boys out there. We continue to improve our TLS delivery in terms of the signaling. Right now we're on 1.2. And we continue to conform to different governments. Over here, you can see we are comply with the US FedRAMP and the worldwide global SOC 2. GDPR is a Europe standard, and in the region, I can happily share with you, we're also going to be certified by the Australian for the IPR, which is the highest protected cloud-based solution provider. And you can also look at our Zoom blog about on the security. Recently in January, we were awarded with the German BSI standard. So Zoom will continue to be secured, and we will continue to be compliant with all the regulations and requirement for government. In terms of simplicity, obviously, if you have used Zoom or seen Zoom, or if you are just a participant on Zoom, you notice how easy and intuitive we are. And that will, we bring that the same use case and the same experience throughout our product, be it phone, be it meetings, events, so on and so forth. And scalable is definitely, now we have evolved to become a full UC with the added telephony features. Emergencies will come up. 911 mainly is the US, but we do support the regional emergency service number. So that will actually, especially in our Asia region, it can be complex and demanding. So it will conform to each different region and governments. And in future, we may have contact center, just a roadmap for you. Okay. Then innovative. If you notice that we always evolve, we always innovate, we always create new features, right? In the meetings, you already can see that we have immersive view coming up. In the roadmap will be avatar. There's already a feature in the meeting, for example, like focus mode, especially for our customers like yourself who are in education, that you deliver Zoom meetings or Zoom classroom to make sure that the student look at the teachers only, right? And the same we do for the phone. We continue to enhance and add more features for the telephony side of things. And extendable means we continue to be able to coexist or integrate with other collaboration or productivity suite platform like Office, Microsoft Office, Salesforce, support support platform like Zendesk, and contact center. We do have partnership already with Genesys, mainly for APAC. But I think this is mainly more popular in the Australia, New Zealand region. So we hope to see we have more closer working in our region, in the Southeast Asia region. So what is happening in the industry today, right? So for the CIOs everywhere, the relationship with the CPO, with the industry is actually growing strongly and important, as you know, as the IT teams are being asked to solve technology, right, that will support the organization mission, for the organization to make sure they are more, I think the word will be efficient, right? We don't want to add complexity. So this is what most of the customers are looking for. And if we take a step back in the historical landscape of communication, you know, since the telephonic days, since the IPPDX days, right? And when conferencing started on the bottom side there, if you look at the phone industry, it has always been on the analog, and then it's subsequently moved to the digital line, the ISDN, but it has always been on premise, right? Then subsequently, as we move into the 2000, we start to see cloud PBX. However, even that is not a true cloud because it's more of a private cloud, or some I would say limited colocation by some provider. And it's the same happening for the conferencing industry, which is the audio conferencing that evolved into the video conferencing. If you have done video conferencing for a long time, you remember the we used to be able to only dial at 384K using ISDN circuit, and then subsequently we were able to move to 786K, and then subsequently we have the HD. And again, the same thing happened. It's still kind of on-premise and so on. So, however, for Zoom, when we started with a video-first communication platform. It was built from the ground up without any acquisition of anything. It's definitely a software-based company. We figure out the best architecture, which is a distributed model, and we do have a global data center, which is a true cloud service. Right now, the count is about 22. And we do work with Amazon, for example, to help us also in terms of scalable with the AWS cloud, especially on the part for metadata and authentication, right? So yeah, so I just kind of jump ahead there from the slide. I think the keyword there, we don't carry debt because we did not acquire anybody there. We basically, our CEO, Eric Yuan, and about 40 of the engineers actually come out from Cisco and then start to build what they wanted to build from the beginning when they were with Webex and Cisco. So in terms of if we look at the technology infrastructure, so again, over here, there's a lot of things that are dependent with in terms of deployment. It's complex to deploy. It's kind of a disjointed as well. If we look at the various collaboration platform that existed till today. And there's a lot of limitation as well in terms of integration or native, how to make it work natively. And what's the diagram? Okay, yep. And if we compare to Zoom, how we are differentiate, we started with a real-time communication because we built from the ground up. And we already started with the capability to integrate and with other SaaS provider or any other cloud provider that you see on the right there, like Google, Salesforce, Microsoft, obviously, Slack before they were acquired by Salesforce. We actually have provide a kind of a next generation cloud architecture that is simple to deploy and easy to use and easy to manage and secure. Okay. So what we bring is a one application, one experience that provide the efficiency, a simple and a modern communication across all our products, which are the meeting chats, audio conferencing, phone, Zoom phone, definitely, webinar, Zoom Room, Zoom events. Okay. And in a single platform also means is a consistent experience, which drives a higher adoption, as well as for many organizations. Over the past few years, it came with, in terms of Zoom, we bring in a lot of audio features, as well as our competitor. However, the way we connect with the users are different, right? It's the focus is on simplicity, and the next generation PBX in the cloud is also going to be a video first and a mobile consistent with a mobile phone, with a mobile, your mobile device, consistent for you to transition within, say, from the desk or to when you are telecommute. So why Zoom Phone? Again, I like to reiterate, the legacy PBX plus PCN, they have, been around for many years. They have served their purpose, but it's also highly costly to maintain, right? And especially when the appliances, the equipment itself, have run into end of life. So you may find that you need to do a lot of upgrade or technology refresh, right? Which is the worst case scenario, which is really costs a lot of money. If you don't do the technology refresh, you still can make it work, but then you are losing out a lot of features, right? Especially if your organization are growing and you need to have present regionally all over Indonesia or in the region or even global. You find that it can be really complex to provide that ease of use and a smooth experience for your user. Okay, so why Zoom Phone? Because we deliver the most complete UCaaS, as you can see from our meetings to the telephony side of things, and everything in the cloud. And we work with partners like K-Reach, who provide where we cannot offer native cloud in countries like Indonesia, to bridge that gap, right? Because they become like a SIP aggregator, or they have become our SBC CAS provider. But K-Reach have a trunk that is connected to Zoom that will help you to connect and leverage on our cloud architecture. And needed to say, I will say that, of course, sorry, a little bit too fast there. In terms of the benefit, everything you need in a phone system is just in the software. As later I talk about, you can extend to the hardware as well. And it's easy to use from the user perspective, easy to manage from the administrator perspective, and most importantly, it's actually very cost efficient, because for this case, you have a very little hardware to invest on. The software will be obviously you get the updates from the cloud service as long as you are in the subscription. So it definitely outweighs the benefit of keeping the traditional PBX and all the other on-premise deployment. So a quick report here. This is actually it came from a third party. So the first year that we launched Zoom Phone, So the benchmark is always 1 million seats in terms of adoption or market customers that actually subscribe to the provider, right? So in this graph, you can see that actually Zoom, compared to the rest of our friends out in the market there, it just takes Zoom 7 quarters, that's roughly about 1.5 year, to reach 1 million mark. Compared to the rest, they took more than a year. So the before Zoom, it was the fastest was RingCentral, but Zoom overtake that record. And today we are already beyond actually 2 million users. So that shows the momentum that we are gaining and the speed of customers that take the decision to move into a cloud service provider like Zoom. Then that graph that you saw came from obviously from Gartner, and I think also this chart is very familiar to you. It's a typical like IT and technology chart that being used. When we had that, when we hit that 1 million mark and now more than 2 million, it put Zoom in spearhead Zoom in a leader position. We were already a leader in meetings, but because of the Zoom Phone, for the first time, we were recognized as a UCaaS provider, which is the chart on the bottom right there. And we are already identified as the leader in this space. So Microsoft and RingCentral is still up there, including Cisco. Is basically very simple because they have been around longer than Zoom in terms of the UCaaS platform. And it also means they have a bigger market share in terms of the enterprise. But Zoom is getting there, and we are already being awarded with all the global recognition in terms of telephony awards, get VoIP for those cloud and SaaS provider. So in here, just another validation quickly. This is the last year report. I think this year usually they do quarterly, if I recall correctly. So for 2022, just look out for the April. But obviously here, in terms of the meeting solution, Zoom has always been the leader since we launched back in 2012. And this year we are on the 10 here, and there has been a 7 or 6 times as a leader straight in a row for meetings. And we are continue to evolve, and we continue to innovate in terms of the feature. Now for the phone side, which is a complete UCaaS that has meetings. So this is our second year since 2020 and 2021. We got that recognition again. And today, I think what I want to highlight here is the we actually have expanded in terms of telephony, more features. A little bit updated, 109 actually today is roughly around 250 telephony new features, which later I will cover. Then we also have expanded the global language support. And today, in terms of PSTN replacement, which is mainly the native solution, we have covered about 46 plus country and growing. And outside of this native solution, for example, like Indonesia, like Thailand and Vietnam, specifically for Indonesia, we partner with Carriage to provide what we call a bring your own carrier solution. Some example of our existing customers that already adopted Zoom Phone. In our region, Rakuten is actually the biggest one. They are in our region, so they are definitely Japan. I'd like to mention that. And we continue to see the growth. And Zoom itself, we continue to invest with the telephony and the feature and the requests from customers. If you've been to our website, you can see there's like a Zoom community site that you can actually participate and can always provide us feedback from there. It's not that when you put there there will be no response. Actually, we have a team that actually look at that. Perhaps Kirish can later show that to our friends here in this call. And we have a steady growth. So again, we see a lot of requests and a lot of businesses looking at how to optimize their telephony costs, looking especially now in the pandemic, and probably we still continue to be working hybridly, right? 50% at work, 50% remote, right? Then how do you optimize your business, right? If you have a on-premise IP PBX, how do you bring that solution to a hybrid workplace, which is not easy, right? And that's why the advantage of cloud. And we have a lot of customers that looking to replace, especially when also a lot of the on-premise solution out there, they are nearing the same maintenance contract, and a lot of the CIO or CTO are also looking at how to put a new strategy to deliver the communication tools for the employees, right, in a hybrid environment. So just another summary. So let me recap again. So Zoom Phone is a cloud-based phone system, and we seamlessly integrate with Zoom Meetings. Later, Paulus will show you how that can be done as well. And we consolidate and manage a company-wide communication requirements from a single to all-in-one solution. From the user perspective, it's just a single app, and it's the same user experience. It can be centralized, managed. All right, you can have different administrator located anywhere. Actually, that can help and administer the administration of your account, right? And it's definitely secure, right? Again, earlier I mentioned about our 90-day security, how we evolved from the original 128 encryption to the AES 256 GCM, and we have our own end-to-end encryption. And of course, telephony is even more strict in terms of security, right? So a lot of government want to make sure that there's no tapping. Data privacy is very important. And we work with robust, best-in-class hardware partners out there. People like Poly, Yearling, AudioCodes, Ribbon. There's a lot more, right? And traditional or contact center experts like Genesys, right? We also work with Five9 and to some extent as well, some of the competitor out there. And using the power of our unified application experience, users can also elevate from a Zoom phone call to directly into a Zoom meeting by the click of a button. You can see here from the graphic, from the left hand side, you got a say incoming call, and then perhaps you pick up your call from the phone first, and then when you reach to your desk and you go to your laptop, you can actually now either merge or transfer the call to video, right, or to your desk, right? So again, what are the reason for companies to switch from to Zoom Phone? So in terms of deployment is quite easy. I saw a question earlier, somebody asking about what are the best practice to migrate from PSTN to cloud. We will address that later. But yeah, in terms of deployment, is actually more straightforward, right? So if you're familiar with the on-premise solution, you need a lot of things. You need make sure you have the IT room, the data room, comms room. You need to coordinate the circuit, right? Then and then you need to figure out as well in terms of the hard phone deployment, and then if you have the soft phone as well, you need to also think about how you're going to deploy the soft phone solution to the desktop, and so on and so forth, right? So the 5 key reasons that you see here why most company decided to move to Zoom Phone is exactly what I just mentioned, because of the complexity of the traditional PBX. But moving to cloud is very straightforward. With good planning, of course, that I have to caveat. every migration require plannings, right? So here, in terms of the quality, the performance, this is a kind of graphic that is provided by Winhouse Research. So the animation you can see there, starting from top, is basically evaluating the call quality for both Zoom Phone and Zoom Meetings. In this animation and the graph that you can see here, we are showcasing that the Zoom Phone in a poor network condition, as if you look on the bar here at the bottom here, under the baseline, when it reaches about 40%, a lot of the solution out there start to deteriorate, but Zoom on the top bar here, even at a very heavy 40%, I tested it myself actually using a packet generator. It can go beyond 40, but to be on the safe side, we can say that around 40%, our platform still continue without dropping or without getting cut. So this is the other reason that some of the enterprise decided to go with Zoom. This is not from Zoom. This is being done by Winhouse Research. They have done their own study. You can actually go to the Winhouse Research website. I believe there's a video to it. If I'm not mistaken, there's also a YouTube video on it how they do the test, how they benchmark it, what kind of stress test they are providing, and so on. So I'm going to now move on to the key features of Zoom. I will not dwell too much because later Paulus will actually demonstrate to you, but what I want to do is to highlight what are the key features that you can see in terms of our Zoom Phone. So first of all, I think the most, we don't have this before, only up to recently, but it's the most requested feature by our customers, which is delegations. So especially in Asia, we always have, the boss always with the secretary, right? And most of the time, the secretary will actually answer the call and on behalf of, basically on the boss line. So more like a boss admin kind of scenario, and it's fully customizable, right? And it's allowed the assistant to pick up the call and then do the checks and whatnot, and before to transfer to the boss itself, and for the boss to pick that call is also very easy. As you can see from the animation here, you can see that it's Eric Yuan calling, and then there's the assistant say, "Hey, it's Eric Yuan, CEO of Zoom," and he say, "Okay, pass to me," and the boss will pick up. The next thing is earlier I mentioned about Zoom have always been in the meeting space, and we have been the leader for some time, for 6 years. but with the additional of the phone, right? So of course, the next question is, how do we merge that to technology, right? And to provide a seamless experience. So here, what we definitely can do from the Zoom phone, when you got a call, once you reach to your, to your laptop, to your workspace, and you can then elevate from that phone call to a video call, right? And it is very easy, as you can see for your animation again. With that click of a meet button, you can actually just move to the video desktop call. Again, Paulus, I believe he will do this demonstration. And you can also set like, business hour calling, right? Where you can set the time and day and what you want to do with that in terms of the call handling, whether it's going to be once they call at, after office hour, where it's supposed to route, is it to your voicemail and so on. And the voicemail as well, you can also do a customization. You can put your own messages, and you can also choose the different languages. Yes, I think, yes, you can do different languages, Mandarin, Bahasa, I can't remember. I think there is. There's some Spanish, obviously, German and so on. And you can have different personas. And also, you can also write a small script actually to if you want to. So the script is within the administrative setting as well, just a simple JSON code there. Then I believe for businesses that require a bit of, say, that has an operator or kind of a call center, or mini call center set up, you want to have a call monitoring, right? Especially, I believe this is applicable for banks, financial services, and the call monitoring allows supervisor to listen to the say attendant that pick up the call to answer queries, without other party being aware. But of course, there's always a privacy, and you can always put this disclaimer. By the way, the Zoom phone also allow you to have a message about like disclaimer, call are being recorded. You can actually configure that to accept or to reject. Nowadays with data privacy, I think the keyword here is to be transparent. And Zoom does provide that option. And interaction in terms of the transition from mobility to workspace. Not just happen for the video calling, but also happen for, say, the hard phone here. You can move between, say, from a mobile app, which is a cell phone client or the desktop app, to a hard phone. And you can, so when the person, especially when they go back to the desk, they have the Zoom, they have the hard phone. Obviously, the sample here is Poly, but we do support other hardware like Yearling and so on. There's a list of certified hardware that we publish in our website. And then if the person decided that, hey, and maybe you want to go back home and on the way to his car, but he couldn't finish the call, can transfer back to the cell phone to continue the call. So in terms of interaction continuity and call flip, that is available today. And at the same time, what if you lose a Wi-Fi, right? You don't have a good 5G or 4G, right? So with the BYOC solution, you can bring in the PSTN number and you can switch back from your mobile number to continue that call as well. So the other feature that we have is also call masking for privacy. This will help to not show your, say, mobile number, but show your work official desk phone number. Because when each user, once you have the Zoom phone license, you will be assigned with a number, ID number or PSTN number, and you can merge you can combine or associate your phone number to your desk number as well. But at the same time, for the user, for privacy, if you do not want to share your mobile number, then you can always set the direct, when you call somebody, the caller ID will always only show the desk phone number. So call recording, we do support ad hoc recording, and you can also put a compliance message as well. As I mentioned, in the settings, the administrator, especially banks, you need to comply to regulatory, but at the same time you need to comply to privacy and data protection. So you can put the compliance there. Shared voicemail, another feature, if it's a group call, if it's a shared line, and say it's across, say, a department, or let me think of the use case there. Other such use case that require shared voicemail or shared lines, and both we also support in terms of the transcription. By the way, when you make a voicemail recording, and then when you go to the app to retrieve your recording, not only you can listen to the recording, the voice playback, but we also do the auto transcription. As you can see from here, that that is actually kind of translate what the voice message are. Right now, let me confirm in terms of language. I think it's still based on that 9 language. Yeah, mostly like Japanese, Mandarin, German. Bahasa I need to double check again. So another, I can think of a use case like, for example, you pick up the call, you're not using the handset, but you don't want people to hear as well. You can just like read the message. And auto reception, another most requested feature. So auto reception actually been there for a while, since launch. And what it does, it can provide you that you can set where all the calls that will come in, and you can create the call handling to quickly move into, say, the auto reception. Again, this part, I think I will let Paulus to show you the demonstration. The other key important feature in all telephony is actually call queue. So if you've been using IPPX or been deploying IPPX, you know how important call queue is. Again, this part here, I will leave it to Paulus to do the demonstration. Now, in terms of the other feature that we have recently come out with in the enhanced Zoom Phone license package, where we have the power pack. Now we are able to handle a higher call volume, and the other one that I myself I think is see it as a very important is the call queue analytics, and this. It will appear in the dashboard. There's a separate dashboard that will appear in the web portal. And this dashboard as well, you can actually, if you use our API, you can actually export it out into, say, a main screen. I think the best use case here, why you want to see the queue in terms of queue call analytics of real time and all the historical data, is especially where you have a department, some kind of like a call center or operation. So this is definitely very, very useful. It will collect all the historical data and how long people wait, what's the response time, and so on, right? So that's the key one. Now, the last bottom part, the team SMS, I have to tell you that it's not available in our region at the moment. It's mainly in the US. So again, it will come out. I don't know when, but the SMS feature is there. It's already built in Zoom, but it's just that it's not being able to work in our region, obviously because of regulatory, right? So Southeast Asia, we have the most strictest regulatory from our government to protect the interests of our telcos here. So that BNO and the negotiation and the legal side of things are still going on. So well, I think from here, what we want to focus on is in terms of the call handling and the call queue analytics, which is a powerful feature, I would say. Next thing is a quick screenshot of how the Power Pack and call handling desktop will look like. So on the default view, sorry, the animation didn't work. Let me see what happened here. Oh yeah, okay, sorry. Yeah, so from the call queue, you can see you start to you get the incoming call, and then you get multiple calls coming in, and then from here you can start to put who are the people to be transferred to. All right. I think it's best later Paulus will do the demonstration. The animation wasn't that great. Next is the already available feature that we launched recently, just late last year, somewhere in November. We now have the video mail, which is almost like a voicemail but in a video form. So typical use case is, you can, for example, if you are providing service to your customers, and most customers prefer to have a face-to-face, you can always put someone behind that, and they don't have to be in the office. Actually, they can be at home. So that from the phone call, you can move into a video mail, and you can transfer to someone to be able to help with your customers or within your organization as well. So the other thing that we have coming up, already available, sorry, is the companion mode. So the purpose of the companion mode is to have the meeting to connect automatically with your IP telephony, with your hard phone itself. Can see from the animation, an incoming Zoom call appear on your computer, rings your companion desk phone instead of your mobile phone or your desk phone, and then you can just pick up from your hard phone, right? So certain model of the hard phone itself, like the Poly VVX 250 at minimum, or the better one, which is the CCX 700, later Paulus will demonstrate, supports multi-line, right? So that again, some user will require multi-line. I only think the people who need multi-line are brokers. So other than that, is probably, I will guess, some I guess maybe some operation and support people. Then the feature that we actually also enhance are to dial by name instead of by numbers, right? So if you have the contact list, you can just search for the name instead of calling by the number. And this one is a bit outdated, support American and British English, but I think we support 7 other languages now. So emergency service, like I said, location-based, right now is in beta, and is still in beta for outside US region. Again, I think in our region, there's a bit of limitation, again, because of privacy and regulatory. But the key thing that we coming up is with the intelligent routing. So this is to at least conform to the local emergency numbers. The alerting, this one is alerting actually already available let's say from the local emergency number, and then you can route and configure to, say, a team. If you're within your organization, you have like a first responder team within your colleagues, right? That's someone that you can do. But in the hybrid working, I will think of is probably maybe somebody in the HR that look after the say the staff welfare. Then we continue to have ongoing management features like the dashboard and bootstrap mode, right? So unfortunately, in terms of the emergency service, we didn't get in our region, we don't have the full service yet, again, because of complexity in the region here. But it's already in the platform itself, we already have the feature, except for the location aware, which is still in beta. And probably this year, or maybe in the near future, once that get resolved, clearance from government and regulatory, I think we will get that full feature. So I guess this is a few more slides. Yep. So next thing is we have the dashboard, both for meetings and for the phone. There's a separate dashboard as well. That will give you a full analytic in terms of the usage, the users, the people that been utilizing either one of the Zoom products, right? Definitely. And from there you can provide the reports. Very good use case, I would say, like if you are in the operation and you want to know whether your adoption rate, your use case, your user have been using it. So this is a good tool for you to look at, both the dashboard for meetings as well as dashboard for phone. And again here, this is a screenshot of a dashboard of a Zoom phone. It will also capture in terms of the quality, the call quality. You can see at the bottom, the picture here, you can see even the call ladder, how it will look like, what kind of jitter packet or network status. So this is something that not just to, it will help you to analyze in terms of your internet networks, and then if the call are out of your corporate network, which is the public internet, that measurement is in terms of the Zoom service itself, right? And there is an enhanced recording as well. Sorry, I've been realizing this button here is here, it's blocking your view. Enhanced call recording management. And what it does, it allow you to access, the administrator can access ad hoc call recording, delegate the call recording to specific user or specific admin. Don't forget, in our web portal for the administrator, you can create role-based management. You can have like admin 1 with full access, second admin with limited access, and so on, right? So it's the same for the phone as well. Then in terms of network and connectivity, we are working and have been working with the other network provider there, like Zscaler. Oracle is again one of Zoom's biggest partner. So earlier I mentioned we work with Amazon to provide us to extend our cloud presence. We also actually work with Oracle, and with some of them actually, in fact these providers, technology company, they are already using the SD-WAN, and our architecture, our platform does work in SD-WAN. If you're not familiar with SD-WAN, SD-WAN is basically an internet solution that kind of bypass the traditional MPLS, but provide the same, if not better, features. Now, quickly, what kind of hardware we support? I will just run through this quickly. So you can see from the picture here, we traditionally we've been always working with Poly and Yearling, but we still support some of the Cisco model of phone, and AudioCode and Ribbon, SpectraLink for some of the product here that we can see. And we support from the Zoom phone, does support from the hardware, from the desk phone to the conference phone. I think conference phone, the most popular one are still Poly and Yearling, and a paging intercom provider. And obviously, we do work with a session border controller manufacturer like Ribbon and AudioCode and Oracle. So in terms of use case, just quickly in terms of how you can deploy this, especially in terms of the, when we look at the hybrid workplace, obviously there are more like more organization going to create like a more like what you call a private huddle space where you can just book a space and work there for 2-4 hours and then move on. Either you continue your work if you have an assigned desk or you are going to work remotely. Some and a lot of office also nowadays they start to build more like a collaborative space, right? More open space, not really assigning to anyone fixed desk. The only fixed desk that we know of is only the CEO that he will have that. And in terms of the newer phone, like from Poly and Yearling that has the video screen and a touch screen itself, right? That is one of the focus area where you can actually deploy. One more thing in Zoom meetings, right? In the Zoom rooms, we have a feature what we call a workspace reservation, where people can actually we allow you to create like someone want to come to office, they book a space, they book the time, they look at the floor map of the office where it's available, right? And then you can actually book that, and then depending on the device on the table, be it a phone for this case, right? And the person just goes to the table, flip up his phone, read the QR code to confirm that he's signing in and occupying the table. So on that workspace reservation is another topic. Please reach out to KRH team. They will run through with you, but this is one of the use cases that I just mentioned. I think this part here will be best, Paulus, for sure. But this is a demonstration how you can get a call and then you can do the warm transfer or whatnot, and then also do a call flip to a meeting. All right. Yep, and if you heard about and have been used our Zoom meetings, you definitely heard about Zoom rooms, and some of you may already have Zoom room. If you've not, so Zoom room is like a meeting rooms that we deploy in your office meeting rooms. So instead of everybody just going into the laptop, you have a big screen, you have a single camera, you have a microphone in a 4-packs, 8-packs room or whatnot, or even a large conference rooms. From here, you can also add on the phone features, because some of the meeting you may not want to do video, just want to do a call, which is fine. So again, because our solution comes from, it started from the video first technology architecture, and we add on the phone. So these are all both software solution. It does integrate to each other natively, right? And the idea here again is to provide that simplicity plus the native user experience. So I think here I will let Paulus again to demonstrate that elevator meeting, call transfer, and three-way calling. Okay, this is the most important part. So we've been talking about Zoom Phone feature. I've been talking about the benefits. I've been talking about where is our position, Zoom position, and our presence in the market. But what does it mean to you, right, in Indonesia? So for customers and friends in Indonesia, there is two options. What we call bring your own carrier. So bring your own carrier means we have a partner like KRH that provide the SBC cards or on-premise SBC solution, or even as a private service. But what happened is KRH on their main SBC, they have a direct trunk that is connected to Zoom, which is what we call a premise peering. Then from the customer perspective, from your perspective, is you have your own numbers, right? That you currently have subscribed with, say, Telkomsel or Maxis or whatnot, and you want to maintain that. You can continue to with those numbers, and you can then bring over that numbers into the service, and this is where we define it as a premise peering. Bring your own carrier, which also means that Zoom do not provide you the number. We just provide you the connectivity, provide you the feature of the Zoom phone license, but the number is still your own. So in terms of the, if you look at, I'm sure you have a question then, who do you pay, right? So obviously your telephone number is continue to have that contract with your telco provider. Then on your PBX sites now, instead of you maintaining your IP PBX and your appliances, that actually goes away. You are now moving to the cloud provider and the BYOC provider like K-Reach, and then Zoom will provide you that service. The other one on the slightly left-hand side will be launched very soon, what we call a cloud peering. So this is slightly different, but not much a big difference. The only big key difference here is once it's launched, you as a customer, once you want to go into the Zoom phone, you have the option to actually automatically choose the BYOC provider like K-Reach instead of deploying on-prem, the SBC. It will be everything in the cloud. So here you can see K-Reach as one of those SBC CAS provider. So this is a summary of what I just mentioned. So in the roadmap is a new way to connect the cloud peering partners. What it does for you is the customer yourself, you can have a self-service experience to subscribe and connect to the cloud peering partners. Indonesia obviously is K-Reach. The rest are actually kind of outside Indonesia. So ULab have some presence in Indonesia, but One to All is Thailand, and so on. And it allow you to actually have a wider geographic reach as well. If your organization happen to be in the region, like maybe an office in Singapore, Thailand, and so on, right? So you may be able to choose some of the regional partners over here. And I think I will not go through this in detail. So this is going to be launched very soon. I'm sure K-Reach will run another session when it's launched to bring you into more details how the provider exchange experience will look like. So I guess the apart from the feature and some of the connectivity that I've mentioned, I think you might have a question around what happened if I already have some of the productivity suite or CRM solution that I've already used in my organization. How that can be, how can I benefit that, right? So if you remember my slide in terms of the UCaaS platform and how Zoom will build from the ground up, we already have that integration with people like Microsoft, Salesforce, Slack, Gong, and Chorus for recording. Salesforce especially, if you notice, right, where if you use Salesforce, you can also have the phone call actually within the environment. And then in Microsoft, in the Teams, for example, if you do not wish to subscribe to the E5 license to have the Teams calling, you can actually have a Zoom phone calling. So we also coexist natively in a Zoom in the Microsoft environment. So this is just a quick flow chart, how it looks like. I just mentioned about the Teams environment. I just give you a minute to look at the animation. So you start from of course, you need to install the apps in the Microsoft environment, Zoom apps. And then once you have that, you have the capability to make a video call, as well actually a phone call. And then the same likewise for Salesforce. In the Zoom phone, the Zoom phone does exist, can exist in the Salesforce environment. So if you are looking at, you're doing accounting and you are the account manager, and then you need to, you are looking at the Salesforce, you are looking at your account, and then you need to reach out someone, you can just launch the call directly from Salesforce. Then there is Slack, obviously. So as you know, Salesforce acquired Slack, but we still maintain that feature. Slack could still continue to actually have the integration natively with Zoom Phone and Zoom Meetings. Obviously now, I guess probably this year or probably next, we will see that part will probably become natively in Salesforce itself. And yeah, so I hope I did not go too fast. So yeah, there's a lot of things to take in, but what I have showcased earlier and covered from historically, what is Zoom, how does Zoom evolve into become a full UCaaS solution, where are we in the marketplace, and how different our platform are compared to the rest of Zoom in the UCaaS player, what benefit, the features that you can have, what are the complement hardware, if you still have a traditional office, or you still have the office that people come back to office, what are the complementing hardware, like the hard phone, how you can also design in terms and benefit from in this pandemic world now, where people need to work hybridly. You also can see the native feature that we have between our meetings and phone, and we also I've just talked about in terms of the integration that we have with the big boys like Microsoft, Slack, Salesforce, and so on. So I hope that gives you an idea in terms of the whole solutions and use cases. And I will try to look at the Q&A. If not, I hand over back to Bu Kiki.
Ya, oke. Thank you, Pak Edi. Terima kasih banyak untuk presentasinya. Sudah banyak pertanyaan yang masuk dan beberapa sudah dijawab juga sama teman-teman ya. Jadi tadi Pak Edi sudah menyampaikan secara teori seperti itu ya. Jadi Zoom Phone itu apa, bagaimana deployment-nya gitu, bisa integrasi dengan apa saja, bagaimana infrastrukturnya. Nah mungkin Bapak dan Ibu penasaran gitu ya, bagaimana sih sebenarnya pengaplikasiannya di aplikasi Zoom itu sendiri gitu. Nah, sudah ada rekan saya yang standby untuk melakukan demonstrasi. Halo Pak Paulus, sudah siap?
Sudah. Oke, sudah.
Oke, Pak Paulus mungkin bisa dibantu jelaskan dulu nih, itu di sebelahnya apa sih? Perangkat apa aja sih?
Jadi di sini ada perangkat IP phone, kita pakai Poly device. Ya di sini sudah terintegrate dengan Zoom Phone. Service dan ini sudah native. Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu lihat di sini sudah ada homepage-nya, ada number pad-nya, ada history call-nya, ada voicemail, ada kontak, dan beberapa pilihan yang lain, more option, begitu. Nanti saya akan demokan bagaimana dari device ini bisa call ke extension lain, dan bagaimana dari IP phone ini bisa call ke telepon number kita, khususnya GSM ya, atau mobile phone number, gitu.
Oke, jadi memang Zoom Phone ini sebelumnya sudah di-deploy atau diimplementasikan di Carry sendiri ya, Pak Paulus?
Ya, betul sekali. Dan ini sudah membawa nomor Carry sendiri, nomor telepon PSTN-nya.
Oke, jadi Bapak dan Ibu mungkin bisa saya informasikan karena di Carry sendiri sekarang sudah menerapkan hybrid juga ya selama pandemi ini. Jadi kita memang ada yang di office, ada yang kerja dari rumah, dan ada yang mobile seperti itu. Nah, saya sendiri di handphone membawa extension saya, extension kantor. Jadi ketika ada yang telepon ke kantor seperti itu ya, terus kemudian butuh disambungkan ke extension, bisa langsung ke extension saya, walaupun saya sedang mobile atau sedang di rumah seperti itu. Betul ya Pak Paulus ya. Oke, mungkin Pak Paulus bisa dilanjutkan sesi demonya.
Oke, terima kasih Ibu Kiki atas kesempatannya, dan terima kasih buat Bapak Ibu yang sudah hadir menyempatkan waktunya di webinar KRIS kali ini. Perkenalkan, saya Paulus Gideon. Saya akan mempresentasikan atau mendemokan bagaimana mudahnya kita dalam melakukan panggilan telepon. Begitu, khususnya di sini sudah ada device phone. Kita bisa lihat sama-sama di sini, dan ada nanti lewat handphone saya pastinya. Oke, nah jadi simpel saja, karena saya mau bicara langsung nih, katakanlah dengan Pak Nafi. Pak Nafi, saya lihat sudah meninggalkan webinar sebetulnya. Jadi saya mau update saja, mau report ke beliau bahwa Pak Nafi, ini webinarnya masih berjalan seperti itu. Nah, ini kita tinggal masukkan nomor extension seperti yang biasanya kita lakukan di on-premise PBX. Kita tinggal call saja. Nanti di sini akan muncul nama dari usernya. Halo, Pak Nafi.
Halo, Paulus. Gimana, Paulus?
Oke, bagus nih. Suara saya bagaimana, Pak Nafi? Terdengar jelas nggak? Oh, ini masih webinar, Pak Nafi. Nah, sekarang saya lagi kesempatan untuk mendemokan Epiphone ini, Epiphone yang saya pakai ini, Poly Device. Ya, untuk mungkin Pak Nafi boleh saya mungkin by voice dulu ya. Apakah terdengar Bapak Ibu, Bu Kiki mungkin bisa respon?
Iya, terdengar. Pak Paulus. Halo.
Sorry, tadi saya mesti jalan duluan ya, karena ada beberapa administratif yang mesti saya lakukan gitu. Jadi webinarnya tinggal dulu untuk studionya.
Oke.
Tapi kalau kenapa nggak kita elevate ke meeting aja? Bisa nunjukin juga ke teman-teman buat bahwa pakai Zoom Phone itu sebenarnya semudah klik aja nanti jadi meeting juga.
Ya. Oke, setuju. Boleh, nanti saya invite untuk kita meet ya. Jadi Bapak Ibu di sini sudah tampil bahwa di sini ada keypad, ada hold, ada transfer seperti biasanya. Lalu di sini ada more. Nah, di more ini kita ada menu untuk kita meet. Oke, kita tunggu prosesnya. Dan ini ada notif joining the meeting, dan langsung ditampilkan videonya. Oke, lihat ya. Halo. Oke, Pak Nafi sudah hadir di sini. Halo, Pak Nafi. Hai, bagaimana? Mungkin Pak Nafi masih di mute. Sorry.
Suaranya Pak Nafi mungkin masih di
Suaranya
mute.
Pak Nafi masih di mute.
Halo.
Ya, oke.
Ya.
Lupa.
Jadi elevate ke meeting bisa langsung ya.
Ya.
Ya, biasa ada beberapa kerjaan dokumen yang memang harus selesai.
Oke, Pak Nafi.
Jadi, so far so good,
lancar ya. Ini kita komunikasi juga lancar ya, by video juga. Audio juga clear ya, Pak ya?
Good, bagus.
Good. Oke, mungkin
mungkin bisa diinfokan Pak Nafi ini terima dari device apa, Pak Nafi?
Gimana?
Pak Nafi menerima Elevate Meeting ini melalui laptop
melalui laptop ya?
Kebetulan ini pakai notebook saya, standby-nya.
Pakai notebook, begitu.
Atau mau kalau pakai phone saya, ke GSM boleh juga kok, tes.
Oke, boleh. Nanti atau mungkin ke saya dulu aja Pak, biar Bapak Ibu yang peserta ini bisa lihat. Ya. Oke, kalau gitu, see you Pak. Sampai nanti. Thank you. Oke, Bapak Ibu, begitu proses dalam kita melakukan call biasa, lalu elevate to meeting. Nah, saat ini saya ingin mempresentasikan satu lagi. Di sini sudah tampil video phone saya atau handphonenya saya. Saya tinggal melakukan panggilan. Nah, di panggilan ini kita bisa melihat bahwa ada caller ID yang di mana ini ada nomor telepon dari KRIS. Oke. Saya proses call untuk ke mobile device-nya saya. Kurang lebihnya delay sekitar 8 second ya, karena butuh proses dalam melakukan panggilan. langsung muncul di sini, Bapak Ibu. Carist Office bisa terlihat ya. Di handphone saya sudah ada notifikasinya bahwa ada yang melakukan panggilan. Nah, ini saya tinggal call, ini sudah pasti nanti feedback. Seperti itu. Nah, kurang lebihnya apa yang saya demokan pada sore hari ini seperti itu Bapak Ibu, bahwa dengan Zoom Phone kita lebih bisa mobile, kita bisa everywhere juga di call pastinya. Jadi mesti standby juga, mungkin udah bukan lagi 8x5 ya, atau 5x8. Tetapi 4x7 pun itu memungkinkan. Dan jangan lupa Bapak Ibu bahwa device ini sebetulnya hanya membutuhkan koneksi internet saja. Begitu. Koneksi internet dan butuh account dari Zoom account yang pastinya ya, yang sudah memiliki Zoom Phone license. Seperti itu. Nah, ini kita bisa bawa nih, mungkin kita mau work from Bali, contohnya seperti itu. Di hotel kan teleponnya masih telepon hotel ya. Nah, kita bawa saja Epiphone ini. Seperti itu. Itu bisa memudahkan kita dalam mengerjakan sesuatu atau berdiskusi. Nah, kiranya harapan dari saya, demo ini boleh memberikan gambaran bagaimana Zoom Phone itu bisa diterapkan di perusahaan kita masing-masing. Saya harap mendapatkan feedback yang baik dari Bapak Ibu. Terima kasih dan saya kembalikan ke Bu Kiki.
Oke, Mas Paulus, terima kasih. Tadi simple demonya semoga cukup jelas ya, memberikan gambaran kepada Bapak dan Ibu. Tapi saya ada satu pertanyaan nih Mas Paulus. Tadi kan Mas Paulus tuh info kita bisa dari mana saja dan kapan saja. 24x7. Kayaknya itu berlaku hanya di kita deh Mas Paulus.
Oh, gitu ya?
Tapi jadi concern di beberapa user. Kalau begitu saya nggak bisa tenang dong Mbak. Nanti malam saya ditelepon segala macam. Nah itu bisa nggak sih di setting sebenarnya ada settingan mungkin untuk sesuai jam kerja saja atau policy-nya bagaimana?
Betul. Tadi sebetulnya sudah disampaikan oleh Edi ya. Dalam presentasinya di situ ada yang namanya working day atau working hours-nya. Nah itu bisa setup di masing-masing account. Jadi kita bisa pilih mau 24x7 atau 5x8 seperti biasanya. Nah otomatis saat itu diterapkan, katakanlah diterapkan 5x8. Saat melewati dari jam kerja, itu tidak akan bisa dihubungi. Begitu. Itu bisa kita terapkan pastinya.
Nah, siap. Sama mungkin yang paling banyak gitu ya, yang paling banyak di pertanyaan atau ditemui di lapangan. Nah, kalau di PBX pada umumnya itu kan ketika kita bisa set di beberapa device ya, misalnya di IP phone di kantor, di mobile atau di laptop. Nah, di Zoom Phone sendiri bagaimana sih Mas Paulus? Jadi ketika misalnya kita aktif nih Zoom-nya ada di laptop dan di handphone seperti itu ya. Nah, itu apakah akan ringing dua-duanya gitu atau cukup di salah satu platform saja?
Oke, jadi basically karena ini based on account ya, dan account ini sudah sign in baik itu di handphone, lalu di laptop ataupun di IP phone, saat ada yang melakukan panggilan atau call ke extension-nya kita, itu semua akan ringing.
Oke.
Secara default itu semua akan ringing, tetapi bisa juga kita ringing one by one. Jadi misalkan mau ke handphonenya dulu, 3 kali tidak diangkat, dia akan pindah ke desktop. Desktop tidak diangkat, dia akan pindah ke IP phone atau sebaliknya. Seperti itu kita bisa terapkan. Begitu Ibu Kiki.
Oke, siap. Oke, Pak Paulus. Mungkin buat teman-teman, para peserta kalau ada pertanyaan, silakan bisa di kolom Q&A. Karena target kita selesai di jam 4 ya, saya rasa mungkin untuk live pertanyaan kita bisa kasih satu kesempatan kali ya Pak Paulus ya, buat boleh. Atau dua attendee jika ada pertanyaan yang mau dijawab secara live, silakan bisa raise hand.
Ya, nanti akan dibantu oleh saya, ataupun bisa ke Edi langsung juga boleh.
Oke, siap. Atau kita pilih dari pertanyaan yang sudah masuk ya.
Boleh.
Nah, ini ada satu pertanyaan dari Pak Steve. Oh, tapi sudah dijawab Pak Edi nih. Oke.
Oh yeah, so maybe I can address live as well. So we know there is some ISP provider that may doesn't have a good service. So in terms of the ISP and local regulatory law, right? You have to see the perspective that they are supposed to, number one, provide that service level and availability. In terms of the Zoom architecture, we connect with various ISP. There are ISP that actually have exclusive relationship with Zoom because we acquire within our data center, we do have our backbone as well. We have our CDN. And we work with various telco, but for the rest of the internet connectivity, it's there are various providers. Now, specifically to answer that question, I just replied is that in terms of the BYOC, right? You are actually kind of having a direct connection with Zoom via our through the SIP trunk, right? If you are with say K-Reach, that main SBC is actually the trunk actually happens between K-Reach and Zoom, which has already been set up. And we have obviously that redundancy available. And from there, it actually leveraged on our distributed architecture where we have our high availability and redundancy path between Singapore and Japan, and more to come in the future. So, so if at the last mile you have that problem, then you definitely have this is something that I think the customers and probably K-Reach, the partner, can assist to work with the ISP, or you can also have the option to actually change ISP, because from BYOC perspective, Zoom are not providing the number, so so that last mile is not exactly Zoom, but is your provider. At the same time, if they are not providing you the service, then it's probably time for you to change that. However, back to the extension call. So as long you have that, at least that basic internet service and voice doesn't take a lot of bandwidth compared to video, I believe the extension number will still work at least at minimum. Probably the one that you may encounter is actually the PSTN numbers. So I hope that clarifies. Do go to our website around Zoom Phone and architecture and our security as well, and some of the we have a blog as well around how we mitigate providers, ISP providers. Thank you.
Oke, thank you Pak Edi. Dari Mas Paulus, ada yang mau ditambahkan untuk respon tadi?
Saya rasa cukup apa yang sudah disampaikan oleh Edi, dan saya sudah presentasikan juga. Jadi Bapak Ibu bila mana masih kurang terhadap demonya, itu bisa kontak ke kami, dan kami akan dengan senang hati membantu Bapak Ibu dalam mensolusikan Zoom Phone ini di perusahaan Bapak Ibu pastinya.
Oke, siap. Thank you Mas Paulus waktunya. Thank you Pak Edi for your answer. Jadi karena waktunya sudah mendekati jam 4 ya, saya juga tidak mau mengganggu jam kerja Bapak dan Ibu lebih lama lagi. Mungkin sesi demonya cukup dicukupkan sampai di sini ya. Kita lanjut ke Lucky Draw. Jadi setelah ini akan ada undian untuk door prize-nya tadi ya. Door prize-nya ada 3 unit, ada 3 pemenang. Mungkin saya coba konfirmasi dulu apakah sudah siap. Mas Paulus bisa coba di situ dicek apakah sudah siap. Oke.
Dan oke, sudah.
Oke, sudah siap. Thank you Mimin atas konfirmasinya. Oke, mungkin kita mulai saja. Jadi lucky draw-nya nanti akan kita pilih dari peserta yang sudah mengisi feedback form. Mungkin saya kasih waktu 2 menit untuk teman-teman yang belum sempat ngisi feedback form-nya. Silakan diisi 2 menit. Saya kasih waktu supaya bisa mendapatkan kesempatan untuk memenangkan Lucky Draw. Ada 1 unit Polysync, 20, dan Poly Voyager 4300 UC. 2 unit untuk pemenang ketiga dan keempat. Kedua dan ketiga. Harapan saya ada 4 pemenang ya, tapi sayang cuma 3 nih. Oke, feedback formnya boleh minta tolong di put lagi. Sebentar. Nah, buat Bapak dan Ibu yang tadi sudah bertanya, mungkin secara langsung tim kita akan hubungin Bapak dan Ibu juga untuk jika tadi jawabannya mungkin kurang puas ya, kita bisa berdiskusi lebih lanjut di sesi yang lebih panjang waktunya. Oke. 1 menit lagi, 15.48. Mungkin bisa sambil ditampilkan. Masih banyak attendee yang masih join. Terima kasih Bapak dan Ibu sudah standby sampai akhir acara. Oke, kita tunggu sampai 15.48 ya, supaya bisa ditampilkan. Oke, sudah habis waktunya. Sudah bisa kita close untuk pengisian feedback form-nya. Silakan ditampilkan. Wah, kira-kira ada berapa peserta ya? Sudah tampil. Oke, mungkin kita mulai dari urutan pemenang ketiga dulu ya. Sekitar ada 80-an peserta yang mengisi feedback form. Terima kasih. Oke, dalam hitungan ke-3, mungkin kita bisa mulai untuk pemenang ketiga dulu ya. Oke, Reza sudah siap selaku admin? Oke. 1, 2, 3. Silakan dimulai. Oke, di sini tampilnya agak slow ya. Oke, congratulations Pak Bagit Airlangga. Oke, Pak Bagit Airlangga. Silakan Pak Bagit, mungkin bisa di-put informasi untuk nama company dan nomor handphone, hanya ke host dan panelis saja Pak, di kolom chat untuk kita data. Selamat Pak Bagit, menjadi pemenang ketiga. Oke, kita lanjut ke pemenang kedua. Reza, silakan dimulai lagi. 1, 2, 3, silakan. Wah, Pak Rahmat Sudrajat Hakim. Wah, selamat Pak Rahmat. Sudah menjadi pemenang, mendapatkan 1 unit Poly Voyager 4300 UC. Pak Rahmat, silakan dibantu isi nama organisasi atau perusahaan dan nomor handphone yang bisa dihubungi di kolom chat, hanya ke panelis saja. Oke, kita lanjut ke pemenang pertama untuk 1 unit Policing 20. Silahkan Reza. 1, 2, 3. Aduh, kok saya deg-degan ya. Nggak ada nama Kiki ya di sini. Congratulations Pak Ignatius Ivan. Silakan Pak Ignatius untuk diinformasikan nama organisasi dan handphone di kolom chat hanya ke panelis saja. Oke, selamat sekali lagi untuk para pemenang. Nah, untuk para pemenang, saya minta izin nih, kita akan coba hubungi dari kantor untuk mengkonfirmasi ya ke nomor handphone Bapak dan Ibu melalui, Bapak-Bapak semua ternyata pemenangnya ya, melalui Zoom phone. Pak Paulus? Oke, mungkin bisa dimulai Pak Paulus telepon dari pemenang ketiga nih dengan pemenang.
Mungkin nomor 1 saja, gimana?
Oh, nomor saja
langsung
boleh?
Nomor 1-nya saja.
Siap, kita coba telepon Pak Ignatius Ivan ya.
Boleh, sebentar ya, saya lihat. Belum. Oh, iya. Oke. Pak, izin akan saya call ya, Pak.
Bukan dilihatin.
Oke.
Kita nyambung ke
Ya,
Pak Ivan
sudah.
ya.
Calling ke Pak Ivan.
Halo Pak Ivan. Selamat sore Bapak.
Ya, halo.
Ya Pak.
Halo.
Mau konfirmasi Pak untuk door prize-nya. Ini saya kalau menggunakan Zoom phone ya Pak. Gitu. Ke nomor handphone Bapak langsung.
Baik, baik.
Oke, diterima ya Pak ya, dengan baik. Suaranya oke.
Ya, terima kasih, Pak.
Ya, sama-sama
Ya,
Pak. Selamat sore.
Selamat Pak Ivan.
Selamat Pak Ivan.
Ya, terima kasih, Mbak Rizky.
Oke, seperti itu.
Oke, sekali lagi selamat buat para pemenang. Yang belum menang, jangan kecewa. Kita akan ada beberapa event lagi. Di mungkin bulan-bulan berikutnya kita akan invite lagi. Oke, terima kasih semuanya sudah berkenan hadir dan sampai akhir sudah join menemani kita semua. Semoga materi yang tersampaikan, yang disampaikan bisa diterima dengan baik ya, Bapak dan Ibu. Terima kasih sekali lagi, stay safe semuanya untuk para pemenang, dan tadi 50 registran pertama akan kita hubungin, akan dihubungi oleh tim admin kami. Jangan lupa semuanya jaga kesehatan, minum vitamin, diusahakan untuk di rumah dulu. Kalau tidak ada sesuatu yang penting, stay safe semuanya. Selamat sore, sampai berjumpa di kesempatan berikutnya.
Thank you. Stay safe. Bye.
Thank you, Cornelius. Pak Edi, thank you very much.
Thank you, Eddie, Cornelius.
Bye.
Bye. See you all.
Bye.
See you all.
Bye.
You can transform your home office into